is can I say palpable? I never use that word, but like like their excitement is real. Like they are stoked to be getting into web3. And so the questions even that they have about the metaverse of like what it can be used for, I mean they're jumping like 3 steps ahead. They're like, "Can I log into Decentraland on my base? Can I mint, my NFTs on Decentraland? Like what other protocols can Decentraland use?" Like they're it's really cool because they're connecting all the dots that we're learning in the class and like bringing up these possibilities that everybody's like, "Oh, no, 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 actually, wait, like we can't do that yet." But it's just like inspiring to see that they're like they want to do that. They want to mint their NFT, they want to mint their Decentraland name on base. They want to like do all the things. So that being said, we have a lot of them coming in and we've got some events lined up. Our graduation is rapidly approaching. And I don't know how many are going to be in Decentraland for that, but it's so far it's a lot. So I'm trying to reach out to everybody that I can when I see those X posts, but they're like too many that I can't even grab them all. Like I'll be, checking my phone real quick and I'll see like 3 of them, like a she-fi girly in Decentraland. I'm like, dang it, I want to send you wearables, but I don't have time. So I am kind of compiling a list of some of the people that have sent me their addresses. I know there's like the master list, but I think I'm just kind of trying to connect with the people that have already made it into in world. And then MetaWolf is like, I already have 2 of them building on land. So it's yeah, shout out to MetaWolf for that. But yeah, graduation is on the 9th of September. And I do believe that there's a stress test that we want to try to do this week just to get people on land to make sure that like all of the things are working pretty. And I'm just so excited. Like this, it feels like the biggest invasion of people in Decentraland for a very long time. Like this partnership, Dana, I don't know if you did it, but you should just take credit for whoever put the SheFi partnership together.
I came up here because, like, I'm just well, like I was the guinea pig, with Shi-Fi, but like I am just obsessed with them, and like it just makes me so stupid happy that like it worked out. Kim got the deal, but I was gonna say Kanessa because I'm a freak and I'm obsessed with Shi-Fi. I have literally made an Excel spreadsheet of like all of the girls that have come. I sound like a stalker.
I have a spreadsheet too.
Okay, okay. Because I was gonna say, like, I'm happy to give you the spreadsheet because I have also been doing the same thing of like DMing people and being like, "Hey," because like it feels much more than like a. And I said this on my post, like when they brought me in to like demo Decentraland for the girls. It's like sisterhood. It feels like not a sorority, but like a very wholesome. I don't know how to say it, but yeah, I came up here to say I have an Excel spreadsheet. So like if we want to just like bomb all of our sisters with love, like in the form of wearables, I'm happy to like we can compare notes and we can do that.
Yeah, totally. And but then I'm like, okay, is that the right thing to do? Is it like should I just blanket give out wearables and they won't know who they came from. They might never log in again. Like it might be a like they might be like, "All right, I hit my requirement. This is too heavy for my computer. I'm never coming back." And so like I don't want to keep sending the same thing and everybody shows up to the graduation in the cute
This is
little
true. We can
skirt with the
scheme.
cat tail. I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh
yeah,
no."
yeah. We
Um
can scheme.
Yeah, like so for me, I'm trying to make even if I don't hit everyone, I'm trying to make that meaningful connection. Like, hey, I saw your post. How are you? It's awesome. Can I send you some wearables? And like trying to me, I think like that back and forth is more sticky than just getting a free wearable that you might never use. Like the actual who are you? Are you an artist? Like, can you make some art for my land? Like, um but I need to spend I think I could spend a whole day connecting with people and not get them all. Like there's so many people. Um
I have 3 I think I have do I have 300? I think I have 300 in my Excel spreadsheet. from like social posts?
There's usually like 700 people in a class. And so there might be a whole lot more, but like sadly I think the performance I think a lot of the people like you can kind of see the backgrounds of where they are. I think a lot of people are accessing it from maybe like a group computer, like maybe the whole community shares it, or it's definitely in different parts of the world that I'm like, yeah, this computing power is going to be an issue for them logging in. Like it's a very global audience, which is awesome. Um, so I'm not sure that all of them will be able to get into Decentraland, hopefully, but
Or
yeah.
have like the peak experience. I know. We really I have to go back on the shapes and see when like the where the 8 gig requirement is at, but it's something that at least like, we're always pushing towards on the foundation side to get the requirement lower because yeah, it's such a barrier, and it's so sad when you see people that, like, the first time they experience it is, like, not what you experience, so, like, totally heard.
Yeah, and I also saw people getting the little pop-up that gives the minimum requirements, and they didn't meet the minimum requirements, and I don't either, but I'm for that instant usually I follow the rules and I'm like, "Oh, I can't go any further," but I did, like, click ignore, but a lot of people were just not. They were just like they got to that pop-up and they're like, "I can't log in," and I'm like, "Just keep going, like, just ignore that, just keep coming, maybe it'll work." So really interesting, like, I would actually love to have been a fly on the wall for all of these, participants, just finding out exactly where they stop, exactly, like, what is it that they can't get past that. Um, I don't know, maybe we all need to have, like, visitors day in Decentraland, and we log a family member in for the first time, and then we, like, watch them and find
We're
out.
literally doing this for my birthday party.
Oh,
I'm
good.
onboarding my 2 best friends,
Oh my god, you're
and
brave.
it will be an interesting experience. We'll see what happens.
I That's brave. I did that with one of my friends that works in tech in, like, Seattle, and it was not a good experience, and I was like, "Never again. Never. I can't do it."
Both
But
of
that was a
them
lo
are Sims addicts. So like when I showed them Decentraland, they were like, "Oh my god, like when can I go shopping? Like what how I want to like make sure your avatar is like so cute. I want to make sure my avatar looks as cute." So like they were down for that, but like
You crushed their
the
souls.
I was like, it's not like a life sim. It's like you can go shopping, but it's not like you're not gonna be like I don't know,
You're
like
gonna be
my they're
spending real
always like
money.
right, yeah, 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 that's I'm like, it's like you're paying creator yeah, so, like, I have to, like, do the whole spiel,
wait,
but
this is real money I've been spending? Shit.
You know, it's funny you say that because I saw a video of some girl that was crying and she's like, I thought that Apple Pay was from points that I was collecting for using my phone and doing all the little things. I didn't know it was linked to my credit card. I've been spending like a rich person. I
Oh, man. Yeah, that's, that's an expensive lesson.
Well,
Uh,
actually, Dana, now that I'm thinking about it, marketplace credits. Sorry, back to you, Kanessa.
no, 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 marketplace credits. That's a great time to have them because people can be accruing them, and you can get, I mean, they're way more generous this cycle with the rewards.
Yeah, yeah. So Dana, maybe your friends could like, log in 3 times and get a bunch of marketplace credits, click on 3 profiles, and go shopping.
yes. But yeah. I am sure though that they will spend actual money because they're like digital fashion to them is like they're already the steps have been made by other games that they play. It's like not as a difficult. I don't know, like, we were talking about this with like Fortnite and like NFTs in the future and how like this generation, it's not that hard for them to comprehend like, oh, I just need to like convert money to like this digital asset to like spend money to get a skin because like we're all doing it anyway in digital games. So like that piece was that they were like, "Yes, okay, totally." Like, I don't know, like, how much should like $50, is that, like, enough to, like, make my avatar pretty? Like, there was no issue with, like, I don't know. Digital fashion is, like, such an easy concept for people that are, like, are yeah, I don't know. I think Vanessa, what you
True.
said on that space was like so accurate. Like in the future, NFTs, like they're not gonna be called NFTs, they're gonna be called something else, but like it's the same thing.
I mean, I feel so strongly about that, and sometimes I have to like self check, like, why do I feel like this? But it's because like I'm active in Decentraland. I'm a mom of two Roblox generation friends, and I like Fortnite, and I like looking good in Fortnite, and like yeah, a lot of other things too beyond that. But I mean, what I noticed with my kids is if I were to give them $10 in cash, that is not as useful as 10 digital dollars. And it doesn't matter if it's like Robux or V-Bucks or a Visa gift card. Yesterday, somebody was really excited in the house to get what's called a green light card. And it's basically like a credit card for kids. And they were like, can I buy something on Roblox? And I'm like, yeah, like you can. So like, I think that this is a generation growing up where cash is not nearly as valuable as digital money because in order to spend cash, they depend on me to take them out of the house, get in the car, drive to a store, and then they have to, they get the thing. But like we can love it or hate it, but like this is a digital generation. Like I could go off on social media, like or not social media, but like screen time, what they're doing with it, Roblox games, like yada yada yada. Steal a brain rot, grow a garden, fish. But the point is like that is this is the entire generation. Like the game in Roblox, Steal a Brain Rot was the second most popular game ever 2 weeks ago with like 10 million concurrent users. And like if we don't think that that generation after they outgrow brain rot, um, they're um, to sum it up, man, like they're just gonna feel, I think, in a lot of ways more like comfortable being online. Like I can see for myself this group of people, I really think the COVID effect, like where they're just more comfortable being at home on the computer than going out and being public. Like it was freaking grilled into them when they were
No,
5 and
literally,
6 years old. Like, don't be around people.
this is like so true. When I told them that like I was gonna do my party in Decentraland, they're like, okay, so like we'll all stay home and like we'll just meet virtually. Like it wasn't a thing. They were just like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. And I think for older people that are like, no, you would never just spend all your time around behind a computer. Like we still kind of are like, no, okay, it's time to go outside and I need to get the garden done or like something. But I just think that the future 10, 20 years from now, it's uh I think it's not a good thing, but like it's gonna be all digital, like predominantly. I don't know. I just see what like that age group is doing right now, and they're gonna grow out of Roblox and Fortnite. They're gonna grow out of these games, and they're gonna be looking for the next thing. And I'm not saying Decentraland is it, but the control that you have in Decentraland, I think they'll be like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to make some, not steal a brain around. I want to steal some crazy, crazy shit. Um, but yeah, I find I could go off on this, so I'll stop. I'm monologuing. I'm monologuing. Oh my gosh, when you're a mom and you monologue about kid stuff, that's a monologue.
You have 24 hours to mint that.
Oh my gosh.
But crap, I had an I was thinking a thought and I thought a thought and then the thought just poofed. So now I and thoughtless.
We were talking about digital money,
Oh,
Dana's friends,
oh,
looking cool, fashion.
the book club. What the heck? It's tomorrow.
I know, and what the heck? We're reading two different books. What could go wrong?
Wait, how many books are we reading? I may have only read one.
No, I think some people got the.
Toxic and I have the wrong edition,
No,
so
we
it's
have
gonna
the
be.
right edition.
Oh, we
We
have the right edition.
we have the. Well, I
Oh,
the
okay.
abridged, the newer one.
I think Kim and Canessa have the right one, and I think Dana has the same one as me. So, but I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I have the wrong book.
So how are we gonna tackle this one? Are we like just gonna read straight
I gave
through?
up.
It's
But
gonna be a versus match.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, are we gonna just like cross-reference facts and draw charts?
Friends, I'm gonna be honest with you. I wanted to read this book over the weekend, but when I found out that this is the wrong book, it kind of killed my motivation. So I hope I can read like 10 pages till tomorrow, and I already feel super bad about this.
I think this is the book. This is the kind of book that is so important to us that like every one of us needs to read it and then like read it again. I read it this summer and I want to read it again. Like the reason it's so important, it's the Metaverse by Matthew Ball, and it like the first section I think is the same probably in no matter what version. He deep dives into the history of like video games, VR, Metaverse, like what is it? How did we get here? Kind of where it's going. But then in the other chapters, he talks more about like the industry, like what's going on, and like what really appeals to me is how he talks about what happened after the 2021 2022 metaverse hype, but he talks about it in 2024, so he has a lot of um like hindsight vision, and reading it I'm like, oh yeah, we should have seen this coming. Like this is so obvious. Why wasn't I smarter? Of course digital land isn't going to go up forever. But then he also talks about the tech, about like the reason why some things are the way they are. Like a great example is in Fortnite. You have a battle with 100 people. You're all dropped on this giant map, and the storm slowly comes in and pushes you closer together. It's a beautiful idea for a game, but that's not why they did it that way. They did it because they couldn't solve the instancing problem, having 100 avatars in the same area. That would have just overloaded the system. So the way that they did it is they spread out everybody enough so that the only actual like avatars that are in close proximity by the end of the game, by then it's only like 10, then 5 avatars. So they solved their instancing problem in like a gloriously beautiful way that makes it look like this is a great game design. But no, actually they were like solving a problem. So I know the conversations come up about like we need to do battle royale and Decentraland, and it's like, well, like in order to do that we really have to look at like the possibility, like the tech behind it. So I think that's why that book especially is important for us, because it goes over a lot of the things that we keep asking for, and that book explains why they haven't happened yet. Like um, which is helpful for me to kind of realize, okay, like we're getting there, but um, VR is still kind of big and bulky because they can't solve the heat issue. Like processors take heat.
Yep, yep. And having all that processor or that heat so close to your eyes. Uh, I
Dries
don't.
out your eyes.
Well, I mean, there's that, but like, what? Like, who knows if there's even like more long-term effects to all that? Like, okay, I don't know if this is like it's still a conspiracy theory or not. Like with like the whole like phones to like you're not really supposed to have them on your head, you know?
Yeah,
You're supposed to
or
hold
other
them.
places.
Yeah, yeah, or other places. You're supposed to like hold them 6 inches apart. Like when you're using it, you're supposed to hold it like 6 inches apart from your head. Uh,
Yeah, there was once somebody that was like, I think they were a presenter at the school I worked at, but they were like, I think in 50 years you're going to see an increase in like maybe testicular cancer in guys and breast cancer in women because women put their cell phone, like generally like in your bra, and guys put it in their pocket. Like women, like ladies, if you don't have pockets, that's like a very good place to put it. And so maybe, I don't know, like we don't know how all of this affects us. So I think it's a possibility.
yes, yes. No, no, just VR energy, processing energy is going to be clean energy for the future. And they're actually going to like build these processors out of like mini nuclear reactors that they're just going to put very close to your face. But it's going to be safe though. It's going to be safe nuke.
Yeah, I think like I have a lot of opinions on it because a lot of that processing is done in the state I live in, and so like it's a big part of the conversation. Just we have the cheapest power in the country, and so a lot of the like if you go in eastern Washington, you'll see like corn, alfalfa, and all the server farms for all the big tech like Amazon, Microsoft. Like you'll see if you drive down like the big highways, you see these giant servers getting hauled out to the fields. And so I think the future, like when it if Ready Player One happened, I think it would happen in like Eastern Washington. Like that's the hub. That's where it's going to come down to, just because of the Columbia River creating the cheapest power and indefinitely.
Yeah, well, did you say alfalfa, like alfalfa sprouts?
Yes, yes. It is very weird to be like cornfield, giant server farm, cornfield, Bitcoin mining farm, cornfield. Yeah.
Alfalfa sprouts. You know, those things are pretty fancy. In the fancy restaurant I used to work at, they used to put
Oh,
that shit on everything.
wow. Okay, well, that's good to know.
They sell for high dollar down here in the Floridas.
Oh, geez. Well, you can have some of ours.
I'll start selling them to the restaurants. I'll create a network of alfalfa sprout business.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Or we could just like turn them into like silage, and then through that heat it could be like we could capture the heat energy to do a little bit more server processing. So anyway, I on the back to the book, like that was another issue, just the amount of energy that it takes. Yeah, I just like that book left me thinking that the future hubs of the world are going to be targeted around. I think they gave 5 states where most of the server farming is done, and I think Ohio, Washington. I'd have to look for the others. Um, but like, what if essentially those would be like the hubs of the world, and you're gonna the tech. The closer you are to the energy, maybe like the cheaper it is, and the more. I mean, I'm already seeing it. Like, I can't even tell you guys like how weird it is to be in Eastern Washington and you're driving along in the middle of nowhere. It's literally the desert, but not the pretty desert. And then there's a giant, like, 1,000 house subdivision in the middle of nowhere because Amazon put its server farms there. And it's an entire, like, town, like, city that has been created just to, like, operate big tech. I don't know. So, like, that's why it's just, to me, it's like changing the entire, like, land around us just because the tech and the processing power. So I'll take pictures next time and be like, here it is. Tech tech.
The evil server farms are taking over. So I wouldn't say that the server farm cities would be the hubs. I think what you mentioned, like the what's around it, will be like there'll be a city around that town, that server town, to benefit from all of it, because rich people don't want to live where the servers are.
Yeah, and I don't think rich people or anyone else wants to live in certain parts of Eastern Washington where these are getting built. Like, I can't even tell you. There's like scrub brush grows there, and that's it. They don't even have deserts like Arizona. It's pretty down deep. Like they call it the scablands. Like it's nothing grows there.
Oh, oh, hi, Mariana.
Good morning.
Good morning. Happy birthday again, Simple.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, no, that's. I'm glad Knessa brought it up about the energy. Yeah, Ohio definitely it's been almost like a controversial topic actually in Ohio because technically the Ohio electrical grid cannot handle it yet. But there's a lot of like, companies that are moving in or building plants. Like Intel is building like this massive plant outside of Columbus, and a lot of people are already complaining. I've personally noticed some increase in energy charges, not just because it's summer, but like truly like the price per unit of electricity has gone up. So it's actually been like a huge topic here in Ohio that it's getting too expensive on the expense of like the consumers are paying for it, but like the corporations, Bitcoin mining, like all that is benefiting from it. So like I was actually at a little meeting like a few weeks ago with some people in Ohio talking about how we have to like how the government of Ohio has to like invest and quickly increase their electrical grid. I don't know what that really means because I'm not a energy person, but we definitely brought up like the concerns of there being like a expensive like the demand of it is going to be so big for like all these new Bitcoin mining and like the Intels with all their AI data centers. It's gonna get expensive. And Ohio is like a relatively, I mean, it's a pretty big state relatively, but not as big as like a Texas or Washington. So maybe like Washington and like a Texas, like yeah, like Texas is like empty from like Houston or like Austin to the east or to the west of it. So like and then they have like collaborations with like all the energy companies like the BPs and Shells. They're working with like the blockchain Bitcoin mining people to kind of like outsource their energy into like their own little sections. So yeah, I would say it's not going to be as cheap as yeah, it's not going to be cheap. And there's also like a noise pollution aspect of it, like pretty much no one's gonna want to live by these things. Like the companies, maybe if they have like a headquarters, it'll be a good job. But if they have like a data center, like even like less than a mile from like a development, like I personally haven't experienced, but I've heard and seen stories of people thinking it's too loud for these AI companies, the Bitcoin mining rigs. Like it's people are complaining. There's like a lot of states that are actively making proposals to have a like a radius of where what radius within like city limits people could build these plants. I know like Atlanta has issued something in like you can't build any AI or data center things. Maybe it was like 40 miles within Atlanta. I don't know. But yeah, it's gonna like energy like is gonna be a huge topic in the next few years. From a financial aspect, maybe is a good time to invest in some energy stocks. Because it's gonna get those companies are gonna be making massive dollars. But from like a consumer perspective, our pockets are about to get more. We're about to be losing more money because we're gonna be paying more money in Bitcoin sponsored mining fees. Yeah.
So Mariana, where does the power come from in Ohio? Like pardon I don't my geography on the East Coast is not as good. Like is there a well I see on the map there's a river, Ohio River.
Yeah, we have
Is
Lake
that
Erie, and then we have, yeah, the Ohio River. So yeah, I would say there's water generation. I would say like that's a pretty good source. Coal, we have like coal factories here in Cleveland. Whether they like outsource it and send it out, or they send it to different coal whatever producing companies. And then we also have oil. So Ohio does have some fracking. Not a fan of it, but we do have fracking for oil. Not too much, but yeah. Surprisingly, we do have oil companies in Ohio. And then your standard little electrical tower things. Some aspects of solar, not as popular because we have harsh winters and stuff, but we still have some good solar. So a little bit of everything, to be honest. And then, yeah, and then Ohio just works because there's a lot of like farm between like maybe 1.5 hours south of Cleveland all the way up until like 1.5 hours south of Columbus. Like it's all like good land. Um, so yeah, I'm still trying to figure out like the percentage, but yeah, I know there's just a lot of things that contribute to it.
That's interesting. Um, yeah, wow. I'm just like thinking about it. Just because like for us, I believe most of it is like Grand Coulee Dam is the number one
Hmm.
energy producing dam. I always thought it was Hoover Dam in like Vegas, but it's not. So, yeah, that's really fascinating. Like Eastern Washington had like ice age floods, like giant floods that just scoured the landscape and took away pretty much anything on the topsoil. And so there's just like you can't farm it, you can't like most people wouldn't want to live there. I don't want to say nobody would live there, but just like it would be really hard to live there. And it's hot and dry and cold winters. So it is kind of like a good place for, I mean, for server farms because nobody wants to live there. So
Yeah,
it's interesting hearing, I just even looking at the map, like I can only imagine that it's like lush and green in Ohio and yeah, and that people don't want to live next to those. I don't know if they could soundproof it or
yeah,
anything,
probably
but
not. Yeah, and it's still like minimum. Like I mean, Ohio's obviously still like they've definitely been increasing the supply, or like the different amount of companies that they've been building for AI and tech related, and advancements. But and there's still like lots of room for it, but right now there's a hesitation to increase it too much faster than the availability of like that natural energy resources, I guess. So, and I'm sure a lot of these states are going to run into the same issue. Where's that healthy balance between corporation usage and then, making sure the consumer or regular people like us don't get screwed by all these crazy amounts with like the supply kind of being diminished and being all allocated to these crazy companies. So,
well, I wonder
yeah,
how it also just goes to all of the cities, on the eastern seaboard. Like my guess is that Washington Power isn't like taken all the way to New York. I know that some places like
right.
California will sell their power, buy power. So it's kind of like Ohio might be and the states nearby, like most of that power already needs to go to places like New York or like, all of the big blue.
Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
yeah.
Whereas like in the West, there's, very few, there's just way less places to send the power. And I don't know how far you can sell it, like just as far as just electricity to function, like light people's homes and, basic essentials. So um that is fascinating. And that book talks a lot about that, like how much power the AI generators and processors are going to just require, like
Yep.
phenomenal amounts of power.
I know. And it's like one of those things we kind of forget about, but then once you kind of get reminded of the subject, you kind of go down like a deep rabbit hole and be like, "Oh shoot, like we're kind of not screwed, but like yeah, something needs to give." And that comes from like a governmental and state governmental level. Yeah, it's gonna be huge, and I never understood it from, like, a political perspective, like, a few years ago when it came up, but now I kind of understand it more as Bitcoin and these AI chips kinda come into discussion more.
M
So
my mind is blown. I'm looking at a map of the US, and my mind is blown that, like, in the 1880s, you know, the Homesteading Act, you could go out west and, you know, work the land, and you had to get, like, water rights. And we're still fighting over water, 150 years later, but it's water to produce electricity and cool the processors for our computing power. Like, it is mind-boggling that like that we're that we still need resources, but for completely different reasons. I don't know. I'm just having like a moment.
yeah. Well, hopefully there's some good, what's the word? Mitigations for these electrical grids because like I don't know if anyone who's all from like the East Coast, but like in 2001, I remember there being like a 4-day power outage because a squirrel somewhere chewed on a wire at one of the main electrical grids. I don't remember where that main plant was, but a squirrel, I don't know, ate something and caused like a pretty big size of like the North or like the Midwest, Pennsylvania, New York to kind of go black for a few days.
Okay,
uh,
keep Maki inside, Sin. Don't let
yeah, yeah,
her.
exactly. No squirrels or no weasels or ferrets go loose. Oh man.
So Mariana, are you going to join us for a book club tomorrow? Were you able to read the book, or have you read it in the past?
I've been on a very hot date with my CPA book. So unfortunately, that book has not crossed my table yet. um, what time is it at?
Let's see. Toxic. Do you remember? I feel like
Wait, I'm gonna have a look.
So which one is the modern book? The red book or the black book?
the Black
I'm
Book.
not sure.
Okay,
It's
so
the
oh, I see. So we want the black book. All right, how long is this audio what is it called?
it's long.
Audio. Is it
It's
long?
long and technical,
Like
like
17 hours.
yeah.
So if I 2x that, I can get that done in a day.
Because like I had to go slow and then think, okay, what are they saying? It's not just like high level reading. Like I'm amazed that he actually could abridge the book in 2 years because he does a deep dive in every aspect of the tech, which is like insane.
All right, let's go to what is that? Kindle. Kindle. Yeah, let's see if they maybe I'll pick it up.
Except
um,
Morph's interoperability. He Morph commented on my Twitter post like, yeah, of course. The only thing you talk about Decentraland is the DAO, not the 5 years of interoperability. And then Matthew Ball actually commented, and he was like, "Okay,
hmm.
I want to hear more." And then Morph was like, "Let's take it to DMs." So we got to find out from Morph if
Oh,
he's having that conversation with Matthew Ball.
Then you have time till tomorrow, 7 p.m. UTC. Then is the
okay.
event
What time?
starting.
That's what time is that in Eastern? Like 4.
Wait, I can tell it to you. 12. It's 3 p.m. Eastern.
Okay. Maybe I could. I mean, I may not. Maybe if I'm around, maybe I'll come join. With no technical. But yeah, depending on how much I read, I'll try to contribute. I guess.
Maria, please come because I have the book and have the wrong book and just killed my motivation. So I'm not gonna read the whole book till tomorrow. So I
Yeah.
think it's okay to join, not read the book. I mean, totally,
Yeah,
totally okay. I'm gonna do the same.
Yeah. Maybe so.
I
Download the
agree.
audiobook.
And you might learn some new stuff through us being like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I think it's the kind of book you could just open to a page and start reading. Like if you just have 10 minutes, you can just open and be like, all right, just take little snippets here and there.
Yeah. Right.
I feel like I need to read it again. Like even though I just read it this summer, it's like, but it's inspiring. Like I think we talked about last time, Sin. What did we call it? Um, inspired hopelessness or something like we're it's kind of like we're fucked, but we're also like heavily inspired at the same time.
We're fucked, but we're fucked together.
So what do you mean by that? Like, and I don't want to like start the book club a little bit too early, but like high level, what aspect are we fucked with?
Oh, I don't know, energy, the way that the corporate structure is, um, the actual
Apple.
technology capabilities, human tendencies,
Apple.
Huh.
Apple. Epic Games seems to be pretty decent, but I still kind of don't trust them.
Well, like the judge said in the court case, like, let's get one thing straight. Epic is here fighting Apple so that they can make money, not because they're a altruistic, nonprofit. Like they don't want to be losing money. But I think a big part of it is like what Apple has done with the iOS at gouging of services and basically absolutely like controls, like monopolizes the app business so that you like it's kind of like
Yeah.
Walmart with small creators. Like everybody wants to get into Walmart until they get into Walmart and then they realize like, oh, I can't live now because Walmart is taking so much of my bottom line, kind of like
Right.
that. I wasn't aware of.
Yep. Yeah, like I guess it like started off like very early with like Atari and like game providers or something like that like Atari would charge them 30% to be able to like use they would charge the game developer 30% for them to be able to have a game on their system, and Atari would also like provide the discs and the manufacturing and everything like that. But then like jump forward to like now, it's like they're still taking that 30% cut and doing nothing. Like they just take it.
Yeah, sounds right.
And,
um,
and they and they also tell the developers that they are the ones that need to like do all the work.
There was some math equation in there how they were like basically if you're a developer on Roblox, you have to, and through the App Store, you have to pay not only Robux or like Roblox, you have to then pay Apple. And so it was like they were like, well, if you're paying 80% to Roblox and then you're paying 30% to Apple, like you're basically not making anything.
yeah, at that point you would hope you get like 55 million people to visit your plot or whatever, or your game to make whatever small little 2% margin, which is not easy as we know. So, yeah, it's unfortunate, I guess.
And then I think just also talking about like virtual worlds, like talks a lot about Second Life and Sims and just a lot of the different ways that like a virtual world has been done in the past. And just I don't know, like the reality of it, I think, like, is this the place where people are going to be? Like, is there incentive to be here? Like, really, we should all be, optimally touching grass outside, like in the beautiful sun. And so, I don't know that part too. Just like, what are we doing here? Why are we doing this? Like, why are people playing grow a garden in Roblox? Why aren't they growing a real garden? So like, I think some of it is like the existential questions of like why yeah, we don't have the answers, but like why do people want to simulate their real world? Like what is it they're escaping here, or what is it they're searching for that they can't find? And um we'll never have the end of the answers for that because we're all looking for something different. But I left the book like, yeah, I don't know. We are definitely doing book club already, but like I left feeling hopeful. Like, actually, I left feeling so inspired. And I read it when I was in the mountains of California and I had no Wi Fi. And I'm like, I cannot wait to get back to Wi Fi because I have so much that I want to do now. So I don't know. I think it's a good book. I think everybody should read it.
Well, I did find a copy in my library, so I will go pick it up in about 30 minutes. So maybe I'll see what I can do. Or at least I can follow along tomorrow.
Yeah, and maybe we could. Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be nice. Like, I don't know, you almost it'd be cool to almost like build a parcel where then you could have like key parts of it to go. Like, it'd be out of all the books like that. This would be a good one to have just an ongoing conversation where we just continue to talk about like, all right, what is being done to like solve the VR problem? Like, should we want VR here? Like, it was talking also, a lot about like nausea and like the effects of virtual reality on people, which since everybody pretty much thinks that Decentraland is a VR like headset platform, I think that's worth talking about too. Like, I used to always want it to be in VR. Now I'm like, dang, like I don't know if I could do it in VR. Like, I mean, unless, yeah. Oh, it talks about like why people get nausea, how to get away from that. It's got to do with like, I think the frame rate that the human body, as long as it loads at a certain speed, you don't get that nausea. And then if it doesn't, then that's where that feeling comes in. So I think we got to know all those things before we start just like talking about, oh, why aren't we in VR yet? Like, we got to know what are the effects like of good VR versus like bad VR. Because if anybody's been in bad VR, like, oh, it's bad.
By the way, I may just have to read the red book because like that's what my library has, but it's
No,
okay.
no,
I'll
no,
join
don't do that.
Toxic. No, I'll join Toxic in the confusion.
Okay, but then you have to read the
Yes,
other one,
please.
because the other one, it's like a cool, it's like a
I'm sure there's some sort of mapping of which chapters got modified, and I can just quickly read those. Like there has to, like I'm sure that exists somewhere.
yeah.
Or if it doesn't, this is a good opportunity
Uh,
for us to create it, and then we can post it on YouTube, and people will be like, "What are the differences between the red book and the black book?" And bam,
oh my
views.
god, yes. I love it. This is quality content straight here.
I think it's like an autopsy report of the metaverse hype. Like, basically, it's like
Oh,
giving,
got
okay, time of death. Like, this is what was happening, and it breaks it down in a way that it's like clearly
yeah.
yeah, just like Meta, all of the things that Meta did leading up to it, like following it, it like
Well,
tears it
shoot.
apart in a good
Yeah,
way.
well, I want the black book then. I don't want the red book. I don't want the pre meta. I want to know the post meta.
Because
And
the red book is was written in the middle of the hype. Like, it was
yeah,
written at the top, and like I read that one too at the time, but this one is like, all right, let's see what really happened. What was happening in 2023? What was happening, in early 2024, like, to get us to this point?
well, I guess I may have to just read the black book.
I I would like
480 pages.
I I would like to know if Matthew Ball has like received a noticeable spike in sales in the time period that we've had this this book in like as a book club book.
I mean, maybe. I'd like to think that there's that many of us, but I mean, the fact that he like replied on my Twitter post, I at least he saw it. Like, he's checking his social media, so that's cool. I think a lot of people, you just never, they would never see that, let alone comment.
Well, like I mean, I'm saying like okay, yeah, maybe there's like 1,000 people a month that buy the book, but then maybe for this last month, I would like to have hope that at least 1,038 people picked up his book.
Yeah, I mean, like, this book, I found it in my like local very small bookstore. So the fact that the bookstore had it, like, I didn't order it off Amazon, like a little podunk bookstore had it. So I'm like, okay, well, that's, you have a good distributor, like, to get it out there. um so maybe we need to buy copies and put them in all the little book libraries where we live. No, wait. We need to like. Go ahead, Sin.
No, I was just laughing. Like, we gotta buy the books and just like hide them in the libraries. Like, just here you go, donate.
Make a scavenger, put a little, I don't know, flashcard or paper into the original red book and be like, here's a better version. See this aisle between these two books. Trust me, no one is going to take it or know about that spot besides this note.
You guys are giving me ideas. When I pass away, I might just pull a James Holiday, except with this book, and like be like, my seed phrase is in one of these libraries across the
Ooh.
world that hold this book. You
Take
would
the
solve the
second
riddle.
take the second word of this book in aisle or decibels 705, the sixth word in the other. Then you have to fly to Japan and get the other book.
Yep, yep. You gotta
That's
find
actually a really
the
good
book.
idea.
You guys will
Friend,
be flying across the world for my seed phrase one day.
That's
friends,
what
Yeah.
I
What?
Michael
need
Saylor has to do. I think that's such a good idea.
sorry, I need to hop off. I just want to wish you all a very nice weekend. And see you later in the Decentraland at ABC and Just Cats and Manage Plaza Party. And thanks for the space. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Toxic. And
Thank you again, Toxic, so much for your help. You saved us.
and up at the top, I posted what MGD is has been up to for today's CBD episode.
No way, I'm missing it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're missing all the
That's
cool stuff, Canessa.
cool. Oh gosh, at first, you know what I thought it was? I thought it was Noggles. So MGD, we have to put in builds that have like a black and white roof, and then you do the Noggles over the top of it. Oh, that would be so fun.
I do see that Make it came up to speak a little bit ago. Hello, Make. Can anyone hear Make?
I cannot make.
Nope. I wasn't hearing Make either. Oh, but he was hearing us. He'll come back. He'll be back. He'll be back.
It's like that nonverbal. When you see the mic go on and off, we should have Morse code.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Hi.
Good morning ish. I was trying to jump in and thank Toxic and you, Canessa, for your wonderful efforts surprising Mew this week and how much fun that was last night to see so many of you all. Um, that was so much fun. It was so special. But yes, I miss Tox, but Canessa, thank you, thank you, thank you for making last night so special.
Well, you made it happen. I will give you more time. I'll give you more heads up next year. Sorry to kind of spring it on you.
Well, it really was such a treat to see everybody rally around our Mew and just really have a great time. We got to introduce a ton of new friends, and to me, this is what this is all about, like getting together and celebrating being together. And when it all comes together and everybody finds their way there, isn't it just so effing special? So we really it was great to have other communities too watching along on other platforms and even coming in and just really sharing in on such a special night. So
Can
thank
you
y'all so
explain a
much.
little bit more about the bear like the bearish community that kind of
Yeah,
did some
so the bearish community is really fantastic on abstract. So they do a lot of vibe coding and building apps and games. The founder Carlo and their co-founder really put a lot of work into helping people learn how to code and vibing. And I've met the founder a couple times. I met him at Eat Denver. I met him in New York, and I was like, as we go looking down the road, I joined. And we've been streaming on Abstract, for probably 3 or so months without a lot of energy. And I honestly was like, hey, well, we're out here on a little pirate ship and we would love some support. And so they got a little group together to give away their berries, which are something, you can earn to get other things in their community, kind of like Beast Points. Different, but kind of like Beast Points. And they had probably 10, 12 people come and hit the abstract stream and hang along with us and see what we were doing and enjoy it. And I thought it was a real treat. And then we had a couple of them come in world, including Piffs, who I've met a few times, and he was one of our winners for the contest. And yeah, they were just there to check out what we were doing and support us, which I thought was a really, really nice gesture.
That is so cool, and what a cool, like, what a good way to get like a just a little cross pollination, cross collab. Like maybe that's something that we should really think about how we can make happen more. Kind of like how Decentraland and Shifi are like working together. Um, yeah, like everything happened so fast last night. I was like, oh, what, the Bears? Okay, so thank you. It's
I
pretty
think
cool.
it's super important that we are consistently welcoming new communities around us. We all jump into different projects, and especially me. And I think, again, what happens if we never bring in the beast and we don't go through that process? I don't know that at least myself and a bunch of us are where we are all now. And I think it goes all the way back to I think it's so important we keep finding ways, if not for linked wearables, some sort of entry point for NFT projects. Because if we're not welcoming NFT projects around us, who are we welcoming? And uh, I really personally want to help the Nilings come in. And, I really hope Aaron Lupp finds his way through, and I really hope we open an easier door for something like that. Maybe not like a Nifty, but as we show or as we grow, this is how we do it, right? So I'm going to take a look. I know some of us are very curious about how we could make that process better. Um, because I mean, look at what happens on the flip side. It would be so great if we had a bearish or like a way of entry, and maybe again not 10,000 individual link wearables, but enough so when a project does have interest, we don't have to spend 6 months fighting the project. We can find a way in, and I've got some interesting ideas on how that might be possible.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a great idea. I did make the thread in the CBD Discord for, let me just find it, ongoing projects, community priorities. I will just put a disclaimer out, like this it has to be a group effort. Like I'm not gonna like suddenly spearhead every single one of these. I don't have the bandwidth to do that. But like we can put it on this list. We can bring it up to foundation at the AMA. But if there's one of these that gets way more feedback and attention than others, that's the one that I think we should pursue. So some of it we might put on the list and it might stay on the list for a long time if people aren't, showing interest in it. But I do think that like the let's see, what did we put on there? Like linked wearables is number one. Getting Dolce and Gabbana, Woody's, Aaron Loops all functional. But I think beyond that, like what you said, making sure it's set up for the next client or whomever to use is a good idea. Then smart wearables, and then bringing back multiple outfit options in the backpack, and then yeah, just other ideas from there. But I think Um, linked wearables. It'd be real nice to have that. Um, I don't think anybody else would have done what you did. Just saying.
Well, I couldn't have done it without, I mean, let's be honest. Rustan, Drip, the fam, the ones who did the heavy lifting, I say to everybody, I'm not very good at any of this stuff. I'm just a great pest at bothering people and not giving up being a pest. But I think what needs to happen, having spoken again to Drip, Rustan, and some other people lately, I really think it's got to work the opposite way for a bit. I actually think, and this is probably a hot take, and Mariana, she loves her hot takes this week, so I'm going to just keep that going. Um, I really think that what needs to happen next is when a Link wearable gets approved or when an asset gets approved, I think the foundation needs to come together and pretty much from the skeleton, they need to build it and they need to fix it. Because the reality is, it's broken. It doesn't work the same way. A lot of things, there are too many chinks in the armor to get these things finished, where the whole process needs to be fixed right now. And leaving that process up to communities or people around us is not getting the job done. We got really far with the beast, but we got really lucky in some cases that people were willing to go extremely out of their way, and it's just not a good use of time for anybody, you know? And I think if they took the approach like, okay, from the top level, we are going to solve this issue, there'll be a skeleton of an asset, um, but we need to fix this and make this an easier process so more can enjoy it. And I'm going to really dig my heels into how to make that happen because I think once they do that, we can welcome in a lot more people.
So maybe what we need to do is like get, we've kind of got like a base of questions. Um, Maybe we need to get that to foundation, not just on a Slido the day before the AMA, but like let them know, hey, we're going to ask this question in a week, and then I'm not trying to be annoying. Like, I don't want to be a squeaky wheel, but it's just like if the community continues to bring it up, like, let's just keep having the, like, keep the conversation open. I think that's like my thought is, um, otherwise these things, they kind of just slowly drift, kind of like smart wearables. Like now nobody really talks about smart wearables, but they're, like they're still, it would still be nice to have them. So um, that seems like it'd be a good idea. Give them the chance to kind of compile their response of like what is like where's the status of some of these things, or how can we get support.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
I'm on the struggle bus today in this space. Sorry. Um, I really, just in seeing the process work once, watching the process change, seeing all the issues we found in the mapping and naming conventions or Rustan and other people found, and then to have Drip and Rustan be a part of a process right now where they're throwing their hands up. I know it's broken. Like I mean, at the end of the day, there are a few people out here when they're like, "Yeah, we don't know." Then I'm like, "Well, then it needs to be fixed." And I just think I know maybe that's not in their hearts, like where they want to spend their effort, but they also want to spend their time welcoming in new people, right? And there's no better way. I think we're still seeing it with like other side with like G's and different projects going in there and the want to be into that world. I think Nifty Island's done a brilliant job welcoming people into their world, no matter what people think. And I know that process is very different, but it's time to fix ours. And I really think if the foundation, people who can work on such things and can repair things, can come together and maybe not make an entire wearable collection, but work on all the major parts, whether that's the character, different pieces of the assets that they can go through and make something and say, hey, it's time to simplify and it's time to make sure it's right. And it just can't come from the individual project, because even as you and I were talking yesterday, Kanessa, about wearable building and what current information's out here and some of the frustrations around making sure that works, to do a 10,000 piece collection or to make something available for that many people, it's just so much. To me, it's even more critical that the process is clean and it goes right. Um, because it just opens the door to so many more people growing alongside us. So I don't know how we get there, but I would assume it's literally having the foundation internally, build through the process, and find the holes.
Yeah, and if we did that, it would be really cool to see, like, groups of people come in, like events. I mean, if we had the Woodies come in and had, like, a Woody's build and had a event and a wearable, well, the wearable would be the head, but like maybe a t-shirt and then like the emote. And that's why I made the Bit Beast emote, because I'm like, dang, like I've got to make this IP work for me. So I have like the hoodie with my beast on it. I've got the emote with the little Bit Beast on it. And I think, maybe just showing what we can do here. Like if we could just, I mean, we're doing it with the beasts, like for whatever reason, like the beasts are kind of like, I don't know, very well, I know why you and Sinful forced us all to buy a beast. Um, but it's like a perfect use case. Like you can see Miguel has a beast build, like there's an emote, there's wearables, like it's a, if you brought that as like a case study to other NFT projects and said, hey, does having a metaverse presence align with your portfolio? They might be like, yeah, like I want to do that. And I don't know, it's a piece of a bigger puzzle, but I think at least we've got the kid called Beast. Like we're doing it with that puzzle.
Well, it's time. I mean, it's time. I mean, for Aaron Lupp, it's time. Like that guy, I mean, I know there have been problems on his side, problems on the foundation side, problems with the process, but it's time to make some things right, just like we've been making things right. Um, I feel like this whole year, it's only been getting better, and I really do. I think it's kind of up to the internal teams right now to come up with a better process. The process for Link wearables ultimately is broken, right? And it's not clean and it's not friendly. And ultimately, we want to turn into the friendly platform. I mean, that's kind of who we are. And it's funny to say it, but we're not the tech platform. We're not the gaming platform. We really are a friend platform. I mean, last night was such great proof of what we do as friends. We party, we hang, we celebrate together. And so to make this the friendship platform for real, which is the way I view it, it's got to get easier. And it's possible. They just have to look at it, some of these processes in a new light and a new way. And I know, and I think that would be great. Like if they had, and again, I don't know internally their sessions or their thoughts or their ways, but breakout sessions to help them solve critical issues. I look at this as a critical problem, you know, that we could do a lot of good fixing. So, yeah.
It'd be interesting if Foundation created a survey, just an interest survey, and just narrow it to like 10 topics, like, and have each one of us put in order of importance, like where that is. So like, would I say, is linked wearables number one, or is it above smart wearables, or voice, like in-game voice chat, or being able to save outfits? Like that would be interesting if we had that, because if everybody's like, hey, smart wearables are number 10. They're not a priority, but I really want voice chat. That would be such a important, like, helpful piece of information the foundation could use to, like, help drive, like, not just blindly going where they want to go, but like actually getting community feedback of, like, what does the community think is the most important thing? Because we had people asking for voice chat again this week. It's like, no, we used to have it, and that's got to be the most awkward awkward response. We used to have it, but now we don't. And odd job. Good morning, my friend. I've been thinking so much about you. How are you? How are the teacher nightmares? How much have you slept this week?
I actually haven't had any nightmares. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. No, I haven't. I haven't gotten a whole lot of sleep, so I guess maybe that's why no nightmares. Um, but yeah, Tuesday's first day, and we're gonna have just sixth graders, and then Wednesday we have sixth, seventh, and eighth. So yeah, it's going fine. I have about half the students that I had last year, so that's going to make things easier. Um, and also I'm still catching up on work that I didn't quite get finished before the end of the school year last year. But I'm almost completely caught up. That's part of the reason why I spent a lot of time there. But that's not why I came up here. Um, are you going back soon? Has your school year started?
The school year has started. I'm not teaching, but yes,
Oh,
the
okay.
school year has started,
Okay.
which is why I can actually, like, take a breath, and return to so many projects. I was telling Make I'm going to make a t-shirt like, if the metaverse is dead, why am I so busy? Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
because you're dedicated.
Oh, oh my God.
Um, but the seriously though, the reason I came up here, first off, mega props to Mean Green Doge and Toxic. The CBD letters up on the map, very cool. And I'm in discussion with Toxic for we'll just say a secret project if she and MGD agree to it. Um, but the main reason why I come up here was in terms of welcoming new people into the space. Uh, Somebody touched on it earlier. I think maybe it was you, Canessa, or it was Mariana. But saying something about having a friend, and just like watching them go through um, the process. And I think that's an excellent idea. As somebody who I hosted the party for Farcaster, I promoted it greatly, and I think we had maybe 4 people get from seeing the promotional materials on Farcaster to ending up in World, but not a single one of them went through my referral link, which I thought was interesting. Um, but yeah, just knowing how that whole process works. Like, I don't care uh, about the wearables from the referrals. What I care about is easing the process, right? Lowering the barriers to entry. And I'd be interested to know from Dana um, and Kim and anybody else who worked on the SheFi thing, like uh, you know, how much effort was placed into onboarding those 300 or whatever I think is what Master Wayne's said earlier. Just to constantly refine and improve that portion. And I understand, like, what we have control over are the builds and the events that are in the space. Um, and that's the end of the pipeline. But the beginning of the pipeline is like in the invites and using the referral codes and everything. So like where can we smooth the process? Like what can we do? The area that I keep coming back to is finding people that are um crypto adjacent or metaverse adjacent. And that's part of the reason why I went and checked out Farcaster in the first place. And I'm not going to make this into a big Farcaster discussion thing, but it's like they've got like a couple thousand daily active users on Farcaster. Part of the reason that is because Farcaster spends, I think, like 20 grand a week to give out rewards to people that post quality content. Um, but they all have ETH wallets, right? They all interact with crypto on a regular basis. And I agree with what Make is saying, right? People in NFT projects uh, to bring them in, um, and linked wearables. And I still have two Woodies, and I'd love to be able to be my Woody, in Decentraland again. Um, but it's like that that seems super complex to me. And what I've been thinking about, where I've been sort of drilling down in my own brain when I'm not working on IEPs or lesson plans or shit like that, is trying to get people through the pipeline, through the onboarding. And what you all were talking about earlier in terms of being there. Vanessa, I remember you saying something, that when you were talking to Master Wayne's, just how important it is to actually be there and interact with the person as a real human. It's I think that's part of the secret sauce of Decentraland, right? We've got so many degens that can hang out and spend um, copious amounts of time just chilling with people and just being there. Life is what happens when you're busy making plans. It's the in between spaces. It's the little boring moments when we really discover um, hidden things about our friends. Um, I think I think also improving revenue streams. I think Sinful, you were talking earlier about what happens when the bull comes back, and are we going to get siloed again? Just to go back to that point, it's yeah, nothing attracts a crowd like a crowd, right? And when everybody starts being flush and having a little extra imaginary internet money, people are a lot happier. And we can go off and make lots of new friends, right? People are going to be attracted to that kind of a situation. So I look at all of the different Lego bricks that are available on Farcaster, on the Farcaster protocol. It's more than just a client. The fact that it is a protocol, and it's basically like an operating system for your mobile device. So when you're in there and you're interacting socially, it's very easy to develop a mini app. Um, and I've been encouraging Lastrum, and there's another developer. I don't know if he wants me to mention that he's working on a mini app, but um, to there, there's something new out this week. It's called co-build, right? And let's say I go to Mariana's post, and if I like it now, what's been around for almost 2 years now is tipping. So I can send you USDC like 10 cents or 5 cents or whatever. Um, but a wholly new dynamic started this week. It's called Co-Build, COBUILD. And let's say I like Mariana's cast. Um, what co-build enables me to do is to like set it and forget it, right? Ron Popeil. I can set a predetermined amount for a like that I would purchase Mariana's creator token for 10 cents worth, or I'd buy 10 cents worth of Mu or 10 cents worth of Kinesis token. And the the paradigm shift of something like that is that I'm not just sending you fake internet money. I'm investing in you. And I think this is something that's also a secret sauce or a secret ingredient for Decentraland. And we've been doing that. We've been investing in each other for 3-4 years now. When I go in and buy M's umbrella or Dr. Drip's, snapback beanie or hat, or Rustan's body paint, and or I give it out. I give it out as a prize, right? I'm going in and I'm I'm purchasing something that I'm giving it away. I'm encouraging more original content, more original creations to be in the space. And I'd like, my dream scenario would be to have Mana Polygon, or a base version of Mana, like porting Mana over to base and having that hooked into uh, the whole ecosystem, because the Farcaster protocol is also on TBA, the Coinbase app. And there's a couple million people that have Coinbase wallet, and when it comes out of beta, it's just a little switch. That you go from just using the wallet to using the social aspects of it. So looking forward, or looking towards ways to increase the audience and for increased avenues for us to invest in one another, in the Decentraland ecosystem. Um, and yeah, I think it's none of this works if the onboarding, I keep calling it a pipeline, but the onboarding path, let's say the onboarding path is, if it's easier, if it's a no-brainer, that just needs to be dead simple, stupid, or whatever. If that's the number of megabytes or whatever, I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, I've been rambling, but those are my main points. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Ajab. Really good, like, things to think about, like the supporting each other, almost like, in other platforms it might be like buying, buying their first post, but here it might be like buying their first wearable. But maybe we haven't dug deep enough into those, and there's more that we could do. Make, you've got your hand up. Do you want to respond to?
Yeah, I got a couple things. And something AJ, I agree with you. We probably bring in, I mean, at least 1 to 3 new users, um, every week for a while with the MetaBeast party, and yet not a, I've never even put out that link, honestly, because it's enough of a action for somebody to come in that the last thing I'm trying to do is like earn credits. I just want people to come, right? So that extra process of like saying, "Hey, follow my link to get in," I just feel like it's like you're almost double asking people to try something and do something. It doesn't feel right to me personally. Um, I think we had 3 new users or something, uh, maybe more last night. But for me to stop and be like, "Hey, Piffs, by the way, if you're gonna come in and we're trying to welcome them on Abstract or wherever it is, and then turn around and be like, hey, by the way, if you could just also add my referral link, that would be great. Just never felt right to me, so I just leave it out of the conversation. But it would be interesting maybe if when you log in for the first time there was like a, hey, who brought you here? And maybe at that juncture it might be easier instead of a link to follow. Because I just don't, I feel like we're already asking people to retry something that a lot of people have walked away from. And so the best thing to do is spend our time welcoming those people, right? Um, and then you bring up tipping, and it's really interesting because we deal with that at the MetaBeast party more than you would think, and not, in world, but when it comes to different DJs or ourselves on other platforms where tipping is possible, and it brings out a lot. It's brought out a lot of emotions from different people, right? Some people already have their streams activated on things like Abstract, and they're already a part of that tipping culture, so we'll have DJs come in while they're streaming with us and do quite well, but we don't share those tips, right? Or whatever, and then vice versa. Like last night, a few people tipped us on Abstract, and we'll be splitting those tips and sharing them with Stony and whatever, and it's a very nominal amount of money, but that culture of tipping happens on different platforms in different ways, but it also brings up other feelings around the team. So I would just say, as much as an individual or doing an event, it has a lot of different things that come involved, um but it really does bring an extra layer, especially for the people doing this stuff, of support. Not everybody make wearables or do those things, so there is high interest of people wanting to have that instituted around us. Uh, but the one thing, just sidebar, I just wanted to also mention that last night we got close to 100 people. Maybe we had more than 100 people through the doors, and Decentraland worked. Nobody was saying Decentraland's broken. So there has also been some immense progress, that I think we should also just take note and enjoy, that we had like 100 people stable in an environment, and that we have come a long way. And it's about like, how do we keep integrating these long ways? I mean, if we were still in six and rave mode, I don't think last night would have been so much fun, you know? So, how do we integrate, and how do we ask for what we want in a clear manner and take these steps forward, you know? And AJ, I really hope that through this next chapter we can bring the Woodies back to where they should be. I know Rustan has put some effort in, and people looking to see what's possible. And I really just do think it's time. I think if we take these problems or issues, and if they can fight through them internally to make these processes easier, by the time they get to us, we'll have an easier way of helping people use them, you know? That's all I got.
I see Kinessa's mic is open with the squigglies, but I hear no.
No, mine wasn't. No, I was waiting to see if Oddjob was going to respond.
Oh, okay. I was just everybody's here being super polite. um, I think that's wonderful. And when you were mentioning, the not giving the referral link, um, as a way to ease the process, I totally get that. Um, I think about other platforms that while I'm doing the sign up, um, even if I didn't use a referral link to go and create my account, sometimes it will ask, you know, how did you hear about Decentraland, or whatever, and then you can mention a person, and it's a lot more portable. Somebody's name, if I could just do uh, a kid called Make, or Canessa, or whatever, while I'm doing the sign up, and then have the referral go there. Uh, you know, Again, it's more so the um, the mapping, helping us map out the connections, right? The strength of weak ties. Where did this person come from? And it's been a missing piece of information that it's not the magic bullet, but it still helps us gain a better understanding of what we're actually dealing with. So when it comes time to, look at, okay, well, the numbers are up for the month of August or September or whatever. And why is that? Well, what are the 20 newest wallets? Oh, okay. So that these are all brand new. And where did these people come from? How long have they been in Decentraland? Who was the person, or what channel did they connect to Decentraland through? And it's um, it's the Meta Beast roaming party, or whatever, or it's CBD. It's like, I remember when every single week we had like one or maybe even two people that came up, brand new people, and some of them were genuinely interested in Decentraland, and others were just here to do their backdoor shill, or whatever. It's like that. Even that hasn't happened. So like, was it through the X space, the Twitter space, or whatever. Um, yeah. So those are just my thoughts, and having having increased understanding, I think, is always a good thing. And shout out to you, Make, for shouting out the current client. Um, I've I'm sure I've said it before, and recently, that let's take some time and really celebrate a stable client. um, I remember when uh, Gigi, who used to work at Foundation, she was going to onboard her dad to Decentraland, and like partway through the onboarding process, it was this was like rave mode, and 1.0 client, and the stream got stopped pretty quickly, and I'm just like, oh yeah, well, I mean, that'll happen. Um, and I can say that when I was running the promos, I had my referral link, and um, what I requested, the ask for the promotion was, you need to post a screenshot of your character, your Decentraland character. So they had to go through the process, at least to that point. And I got at least 15 people, to that point. Um, so okay, it was a very minimal spend, a very minimal buy to have to run that promotion. So I'm thinking about running it again, because I'm going to have more events at the Farcaster build in Decentraland, and see what do I need to do. Maybe do A/B testing, or whatever. What do I need to do to um, make those certain percentage conversion, right? So if there's 15, 20 people who respond to the promotion and make it to the point where they're actually um, creating their character inside the avatar, closet, before actually entering Decentraland, what makes the difference to get them all the way into world. Um, and I guess one thing that I'm guessing is like Farcaster is it's a mobile first app. Like I use it on desktop, and a lot of people when they sent the screenshots, um, they were all vertical. So I'm guessing that when they went to make their account in Decentraland, um, they could get to the point where they logged in with their wallet because, like I said, everybody in Farcaster has a wallet, and they started making their character. But when it came time to do that authentication and to call up a browser so they could, or sorry, the client so that they could go in world, there is no client, for mobile that just automatically loads. So that, whatever. I guess I'm answering, partly my own question, but it's like, I don't know. Is there a way to, like the retro 2D pixel version of Decentraland that I was super excited about? Well, it was like 2, 3 years ago. Is there a way to have a more simplified version? I know that there's the Bevy client, and that's experimental. It's through the DAO. But yeah, is there some way that we can begin to bridge that gap? Um, I don't know.
There's really got to be. I think that like Ajab, you might not have been here at the beginning when we were talking about the amount of people from Shifi coming in, but then the huge percentage of them that were struggling to
Yeah, I did hear that. Yeah,
get on because of their computers. So yeah, I think that that's to,
even I get that. Even I get that message because I'm using a
yeah.
Xenon processor, and it's not the like recommended one. It's certainly beefy enough. um, I've got like, what do I have? I've got like a quarter terabyte worth of dual ECC RAM, right? Error correcting RAM in my system. It's definitely enough, but for whatever reason, it doesn't conform exactly. So I get a message and whatever, I just ignore it. But yeah, somebody who's brand new and sees that, they're just like womp womp, sad trombone. I can't play with my friends. Maybe even minimizing that uh, instead of making it a big window. I mean, it's helpful to know, but I think it kind of kills the vibe, right? Like maybe they could get by. Maybe there's a way to have different settings so that they've got a 4 GB graphics card, and they could do just fine, at La Cantina or MetaBeast Party or something like that. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, or are there like I mean, I don't think it would help, but like are there really minimal load areas like out in the outskirts of the map? I don't think that would, really solve it, but like could we just or even a world, could there be a DCL world created that would be almost like a sample platter of the big, the main map? I don't think that would work, but I'm just thinking like that would be such a go around if there was just one small bite-sized package that you could access before, and then from there you're constantly being like redirected, like walk through this portal for the full experience, so that it's very obvious you're not experiencing the full package, but it's not the
Oh,
light
I like.
version either. It's like its own separate creature.
Yeah, I like your thinking, right? I mean, my kids when they were little, they played like 3 different versions of Minecraft. Um, w- I had them fuck around with Raspberry Pis, so there's like a very very simplified version, like no alpha channel, no alpha map images, um, on the Raspberry Pi. They'd also play on a server, that I spun up for them, and then there was also the mobile version that they'd play on the iPad, um, and they still thought of it as playing Minecraft. Now they couldn't go to the world that was on their server, when they were on the Raspberry Pi, but that didn't matter to them. It was still a similar experience. And it doesn't have to have every single thing. Like, what is the MVP of Decentraland on mobile? Let's ask that question. Let's answer that question. What is the optimal path for a newly minted user to onboard into Decentraland? Let's think about that. Um, and once they're there, uh, what is the what are the top three methods of retaining them, right? Because it's like once you get them in here, that's like you just started. There's also keeping them here. How do we have these people keep coming back? Um, anyway,
I was looking at the crowd last night and I was thinking that I was like, why are these people still here? Like, what made it that they decided to log back in? And it's the usual suspects. It's like there was something, or a multitude of things that made this group come back. Like maybe it was the friendships, like the connections. Maybe it was the play to earn game got them to stay long enough to forge those connections and relationships where then they're like, yeah, I'm this is my thing, this is my habit. Because we've had a lot of people come through over the years that have also formed those connections, those friendships and relationships, and they don't log in, and like that's okay. Like I don't like nobody should log in if it just doesn't align with where they're at in their life journey anymore. Like, but it is, I think, really interesting just to just look at everybody last night and be like, these are the people that still find value here. Like, you know,
one of the interesting um, side bits of information that I got from promoting the Farcaster Takes Decentraland party was the number of people who had already been in Decentraland. There's somebody named Nounish Prof. She's big in the Nouns community. She's got a show called Good GM Farcaster that she co-hosts with somebody else. Um, and I was trying to get a cross promotion done with them, purchase some advertising from them, or have trivia night. It just didn't work out. But we had a number of discussions like, what is it going to look like to have the party promoted on their platform? And partway through, I didn't even know from the very beginning. I'm like, oh, you know, even if this doesn't work out, I'd love to show you around Decentraland. Have you ever been? She's like, oh yeah. Um, there was like 5 people that had told me sort of as an aside, is like, oh yeah, I think it's great that you're still there, and I can't wait to get back into Decentraland. It's like, when you're raising funds for public radio or public TV or whatever, everybody knows when you're fundraising, one of the best sources to raise those funds is to go to people who you've already had donated. So the people that have already been there, it's like, how do we find those people? Um, how do we get those people who were here in 2001? How do we get them back in? What is the? I'm guessing that uh, the barrier to entry is much lower for them because they've already been there.
yeah. I mean, I know Make has talked about it, about re-engaging existing users. And I know there's friends like, I'd just say UMAC, Endo, Mana Witch, Mana Daiquiri, like people who, if they came back, it would be very different, like from when they were here last. Like, but yeah, like, so are the components that attracted them here at that time, are they still here? Like that, we also have to be honest, that was a very post-COVID world. Like that was right after like people were getting out of lockdowns, so there might have been a lot more incentive to be here because people still weren't going out. Like I think a lot of people, at least from what I've heard them say, is they were using this as their like social outlet. They were here because we couldn't go out to live music or any other, venues like that. So maybe just the reality is that the metaverse without lockdowns for them, it's not they don't need it now. They're like going out in person. Um but yeah, it'd be fun to like actually go on a tour with UMAC, um Endo, Cromulin, like all these people who used to be here and like see what they think. Like they might be like, nah, like it just it just doesn't fit with doesn't align with their journey right now, and that's okay. But kudos to you, Ajab, for doing that, and I'm sure it was such a learning experience. Um,
Let's
to
have
see.
a let's have a homecoming. Like it's oh, sorry, I'm on a call right now.
Gotcha.
No, no, sorry, I was just telling my wife.
Oh,
um,
okay. So,
yeah, no, 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 no. Um,
uh,
yeah. Who am I talking to? Um,
well, hey,
it's
you
almost
know,
homecoming season, so I'm just thinking like, we've had prom in Decentraland. Let's have homecoming.
that's a good idea. Oh, we should have like a football game. Like get the stadium lights and east versus west. I don't know if we could do that. That might be too gang related, but
Or we could even like, just like watch a football game in Decentraland, right? I mean, let's let's be real. It's like it took me all summer to build Jump Zone, and all people do is jump off of a place and land a place. Um, but streaming in a video of a football game, and it doesn't have to be American football. It can be, football, soccer, as we call it. But yeah, just have an event, and um, that's the hook, right? That's the ask. The ask is for you to go out and to get one friend who used to be in Decentraland and have them come back. Have them, come back home, and we'll celebrate their arrival.
that would be so crazy. Like if you had pictures up on the walls. I'm just thinking like, CK Bubbles the first time that they were here for the Grimes concert and then the Absolute Vodka build, like I don't know, it'd be interesting. Like I know a lot of people left for reasons where I think that they just, it might have been like personal conflict, like different things like that. So it'd be interesting, if some people were like, yeah, I left because this, so and so was making life really, difficult for me. Like maybe there'd be the ability to like, I don't know, not start fresh, but like maybe some of those um components are different now. Just because I know some people like that is why they left. Like they didn't want to be in the politics of the Decentraland social life and whatnot. Make.
I don't know. I'm raising my hand because I'm having a rough time. I'm getting client one Twitter right now. X. I have come and left and deleted this. Couple things. One, at least they made that first window better than it was when they first added the window that said your computer's not strong enough. Warning. Now it's more like, hey, your computer's not optimized, which is a nice improvement because that was keeping a bunch of people out writing me saying, hey, my computer's no longer valid. So at least they have changed the verbiage to sound a little better. It could still use some work, but the verbiage at least isn't like your computer's going to explode if you do this, or you can't even do this. It's more like it's not optimized for the experience. So kudos for them listening just to the people saying, hey, this should be adjusted. um you you had another one that I wanted to say, but I kept jumping in and out. I'll tap down, but it might be the end of this adventure. But I think welcoming people, that's kind of where I was at. last night we had an other page badge, and we put a link in the chat, and people were like, "Oh no, no links." And I literally got on the mic and I was like, "This is a link directly from me that I am sending, and it is safe." And I feel like it's already a bit of a jump with Decentraland to load the client on the platform, right? A lot of people feel strongly about that. So to add a referral link that is not like decentraland.org, I think is another scary point of entry also. And so I think that makes it harder, AJ. And I think there should just be a simpler act, which unfortunately people just take such grave advantage, right? That somebody would might quote unquote game the system. But at the same time, I'd love to know who has had success with the referral link, because again, I know for a fact we've got 30 to 50 people we brought in, and I would never ask them to like take that extra step. Like the key is to bring people and welcome them. So it might be an interesting thing to think about, long
It's to
term.
welcome them, but it needs to be more.
Just needs to be simpler.
It has, yeah, it's got to have less friction, right?
Yeah.
It needs to be as transportable as a name, where
and
it needs
links
like
and links are definitely still the hotbed of what we're told not to do, right? So I feel like a referral link, since it's like in between and doesn't have like this strong stated safe thing to look at, it's tough for people to want to even be a part of that. Like it doesn't reward them, and maybe that's the deeper truth as well, right? Like most people who want to use a referral link also want something in return, generally speaking. I mean, unless it's like almost always like, maybe if you do this, you get your first two special emotes and a special wearable, and then they're like, shit, I want to do that because it's about me, and I'm getting something from this, not just the person who introduced me to the platform. I mean,
imagine
honestly.
this. Imagine this. Like we've got a new person that comes in, and I've asked for this before, to just be able to click on somebody and then, send them uh a wearable or an emote. Like, what if there was tipping that was akin to how simple it is to do the microtransactions in Farcaster to, like, send that person love, right? So it could be like the special Decentraland Decentralove token or whatever, and the new person comes here and um, you get a certain number of tokens a day. That's how it was with degen. You got an allowance based on what you had staked, right? So you had to purchase degen. So let's say maybe you have to hold at least 100 mana, and then you get Decentralove tokens to tip people, and then when people come in, you send that to them, and then um, after a certain amount, then you get a certain number of credits or whatever. Not trying to make it super complicated, but just a way that we can very easily not only onboard the person, but once they're here, um, rally around or flock to that person. And it's something that, yes, of course, can be gamed, right? But if we were always afraid of something being botted or something being gamed, it's like, well, we wouldn't do anything, right? um, there are some things that people can do that are more um, people can do more easily, that it's hard for bots and machines and AI to do. And it has to do with those social aspects, and you don't need to. um, yeah, I don't think it has to be super complicated, but if a new person were to come in and there was a way that I could, just welcome them, definitely say hello, welcome, but also provide them with somewhat of a token, I think that would go a long way in keeping them come back, right?
Just to be able to give people wearables instead of me going back outside the platform, going to my ledger, unlocking the wearables. I also, shame on me for using my ledger to unlock, wearable giveaways, but it would be really helpful. right? Like last night, we gave away 15 wearables, and all of them had to be done outside of the platform. All of them had to like go to Decentraland and do that. I think it'd be great.
I think, it's all a work in progress, and I think progress of any form is, that's what we want. I'm I'm glad that they tried a referral system. I think, I haven't used the link either. It seems like if we're trying to rebuild a cultural, like a new culture where safety is just integrated into it, where we're keeping our friends safe, it's like it's absolutely on the other end of the spectrum. I think that it's just really hard to tell people don't click links, and then but this one is okay. Like that's really I don't know how to get around it. But I think that recent events have shown us like we can't let our guard down. We can't like we still have to remain vigilant, and we still have to show our friends that um we're doing things that are safe. Like odd job, I know you've been busy, so I'm not sure how much you've seen of accounts getting impersonated. I know Rishi, myself have all been having somebody act like them in Genesis Plaza. um I I haven't been able to log into Decentraland for like a week, and so in order, yesterday, or like I was like, "Dang guys, I just realized I'm not going to be able to make it to Sinful's party," which is like horrible. And so that's why I had to take over my son's computer and create an alt account to get in. And so I was absolutely doing what we just, what like we're trying not to do. So I show up in Genesis Plaza as an unminted Canessa. And I just go and stand by Toxic right away. And I'm like, this is me. And she, before I could even message her, she was like, hey, that's you, right? I'm like, yep, this is me. And so I sent my minted Canessa DCL name to myself, um, and then sent wearables so that it's clearly me. But it really, again, is like we have such a challenge with that as it is that I just don't know how to keep our friends safe and then use links like that. It's gotta I think it has to be engineered differently. However, having said that, I think the referral link system would have really worked well when we had the ambassador program going, like where people are having in world, like real life events, onboarding college students or, businesses bringing in different people. Um, so maybe there's a time and a place. Maybe we have multiple systems where a referral link works for that, like IRL meetup, but just bringing on like web3 communities, it's just looks different. Because I don't like I could have used that link to the SheFi community. There's like 700 people at a time in a class. I could have been spamming it on the SheFi message boards, but I was like, I don't even want to. It's not worth it. um and then sadly, I don't know if you saw, odd job, somebody did find a real quick way to game the system, and most of the mythics have been minted out and resold on secondary to people like me and other people who bought them.
Yeah, I when I started seeing the unicycle, I'm like, that is sick. And my first thought was it was yours, or Issa's or Meta Tigers. And then I found out what really happened. And it's like, you know what? Okay. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Yes, it does suck that somebody gamed the system, but it's like, uh that's how you that's how you improve, right? That's why open source projects in some ways are superior to siloed systems. Um, it's it's still worth it to build in the open and to build openly through open source and on decentralized platforms. It takes longer, and we have issues like this. And I think that that's uh, that's an education in itself, right? There's a lot to learn. Um, so let's not try to overload people with too much information. Um, but yeah, let's also not give up. Um, just because uh, some bad shit happened. Um, it's easy for me to say, right? Like I definitely sympathize with the people um who were socially engineered or hacked or had their wallets drained. Um, but we persisted, right? It's important that we get back up and dust ourselves off and start all over again.
Yeah, and I think it is a great example of just how every time something new is introduced, there's the chance that it will be taken advantage of. I know the marketplace credits too. You can kind of look at the sales and see how people how people are choosing to, or like they're finding ways to game the system. I'm like, my brain is not wired to think like this. How did you guys even think this up? Um, but maybe that's just a part of like a, what is it, like a transactional cost. It's just like the cost of doing business. Like, yes, we're going to have 20% farm it, but we're going to have 80% user engagement that actually like increases. And I've definitely noticed an increase of sales in the marketplace. Um, that I believe it is, by people using their marketplace credits. So maybe it's just the cost of doing business.
Yeah, there's something called shrinkage, um, in the business community. When you've got a store where instead of all of your, well, I mean, now you go to Walgreens or CVS or whatever, and all the shampoo is locked behind a door. But uh, when it's out in the open, um, you're gonna make 99% of your sales, or 99% of the time when an item leaves your shelf, you're getting paid for it, right? You're paid full price, or at least you're covering um, your margins. And yeah, there's going to be some people that come in and steal it because, hey, it's just right there and it fits in my pocket and I can just walk out the store. Um, yeah, there are methods to minimize that. A part of that is the social contract. Um, just be like, hey, don't be a dick. um, and I think about Napster, right? It's like um, the iPod wasn't around when Napster first started, and part of the thing that like killed Napster was the iPod. You made uh, a legal method of distributing music easier than pirating it, and people want to do the right thing. A majority of people want to do the right thing. They want to support the creators. If nobody wanted to support the creators, then no new music would get created, right? I mean, people would still make music for their own edification, their own pleasure, but it's not going to be the same kind of music. So I think we'll get there. Just got to keep building, got to keep working, got to keep pushing. Also, part of the reason why I haven't been like responding right away is Natalie.shefi.eth. I've been conversating with her on X. She's one of the people from the SheFi class. Or I don't even know if she might even be part of
Yes,
SheFi with that
yes, she
name.
is. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been talking with her too.
Yeah. Anyway, just been like, okay, let's bring ABC there. Let's tour your parcel. And she's like, you sure you want to come here? She's like, okay, but you do know that I only started building for the first time in my life 3 days ago, right? And I'm like, absolutely. That's precisely why I I want us to go there. Um, what did I say? I said yes, and that's what I'm excited about. What were your wins? What were your challenges? If a new person were to start today, what advice would you give them? You have a valuable perspective. I'd like to know more about it. So it's like, yeah, I mean,
That's
totally what that's
awesome.
what we're doing.
Yeah, and she's using is that right? She's using Meta Wolfsland?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know where she got the parcel, but yeah, I mean, that's like that is the CBD way, right? That's part of the reason why we started CBD was so that people with resources that were underutilized and people with creative ideas that needed resources could come together and we could create more content and more value in the system. So that's super exciting to know that if that's the case, that's super exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that's like taking the bull by the horns. Like 3 days here and building already. I mean, that sounds like CK, like building emotes, like or like then wearables, emotes, everything. So that's bottle that up. Whatever she's got, bottle it up. I sent her a bunch of wearables, Natalie, and I've got her address because I don't want to like just flood everybody with wearables, like anybody that just comes through. But like, if she's actively building, I'm gonna send her, more. And then I was thinking maybe we'd even make a little spot in CBD, like an address channel or just someplace like, hey, these are the people that like really have come back a few times. So send out some goodies if you've got them.
Or better yet, assets to put on a parcel, or even possibly a larger estate instead of a single parcel. Like, hey, you've done really amazing things with this 1 by 1. What can you do with a 1 by 2 or whatever? But again, like you said, don't overwhelm the person. Allow the student to dictate the pace, right? We need that zone of proximal development. We don't want to ask too much of a brand new builder, um, somebody who's interested in the space. It's got to be just challenging enough to spur on more interest. So I like that idea of you know um, highlighting it and drawing attention to it so that other people can see that. That's the thing, is like when I have examples for my students, um, I don't pick the best possible example of somebody doing a thing. I usually pick the one step above the worst possible example of how to do something, because I want my students to see, what a majority of people are capable of creating. And that's, through writing or, any type of thing, math, science, social skills, um, any of those lessons. Uh, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to, I don't know. She said she'll be there, for ABC. Geez, CBD. Alphabet soup, for ABC later. She's got the UTC time, so hopefully she'll be there. And I told her that we also sometimes have people come on for voice chat, but no pressure. Again, don't want to overwhelm. Um, but yeah, let's uh, let's have more of that. Let's have more people come in and just dive in with both feet and try stuff out. I remember Punk Pink when they first came into the space. Started making stuff. Art Cibola was a brand new wearable creator, not that long ago. It's like, it's exciting to see new people come in and just really, really take to it. More of that, please.
Yeah, and I think the more of that you see, the more of that like inspires you. Like when I see people here like building, actively building, like it makes, I don't know, like inspire or push isn't the right word. but it definitely makes me want to make more. Like, I don't know, maybe it like reinforces or somehow um and even I feel like I haven't built anything just because it's been a busy summer, but like in my mind I'm like, okay, like I've got so many projects, and so even if people, if you know, even if you don't see people actively building, you might be inspiring them in their mind, and maybe they'll get to it. Like that's me. Like eventually I will get to it. um so yeah, I think that's seeing her post on Twitter of like she's building, it was like, yeah, it lit my spark, I think. Like yeah, I want to keep going. Like I want to be inspired by people like her.
Here's another idea. Like, what if I could, um, instead of buying something in the marketplace with my marketplace credits, what if I could just tip Natalie my marketplace credits, like transfer them,
Oh my gosh, yes.
and just say, hey, good job, you're doing a great job, keep it up. Maybe have a limit of, you can only tip 10% of your tokens, your marketplace credits, or whatever. That way people wouldn't be able to like spin up multiple wallets and then just combine them um, under one wallet to game the system. But whatever.
Hey,
um,
how about we just make this happen? Like I want to say that all of the posts that we're seeing right now, like, and the post goes just a she-fi girly in Decentraland. I'm a little remiss on my homework, but I believe that is a homework assignment that I have yet to do on the she-fi board. But like it's viral, so then you see it more and more and more. Let's, instead of like saying, "Hey, foundation, we need, now we want you to implement like tipping," how about we do our own viral X or Farcaster campaign of just like figure out what our message is, like hats off to you, I'm tipping this much to this new creator, I'm tipping my marketplace rewards to this new creator, or something like that. If we all agreed on like the verbiage, I mean, I bet we could get some traction there and like tip it to some new users that we see building. Like I guess if it was an organized effort, maybe that would get attention of foundation or other people coming in like, whoa, wait, what, you just got tipped this much? Like maybe it doesn't have to be formally developed before we actually show that like it could be implemented.
I mean, there is a way around it, right? There's like I've one of my projects this summer was to create a mini app so that people could take my AJ token that's on base that I created using the Rainbow Wallets super token smart contract. And there's a mini app on Farcaster that lets me distribute my token, my AJ token, to people when I like their cast, or if I reply, or if I recast it. So I think 400 people now hold my AJ token just through that distribution method. Anyway, by just selecting a token and then having it as having a burn mechanic, so that if you come to a certain smart contract and you burn that token, then you get this wearable, right? Um, so I've wanted to do that. I got the first part of the app created, but not the burn mechanic, because it's a little difficult. It's not native to the Rainbow Super Token um, contract, so it has to have something else in it. But the Forge does have a way to do that. There's a way to specify, uh, the Forge's um, wallet address so that it can mint a wearable for you, um, and it could be, just whatever token. It would be created on the base network, right? Um, but we could have people accrue the token. I've already set it up so that if you're on the Forge, there's a little I haven't announced this, I haven't publicized this, but if you go to Jump Zone, that was the other name I was thinking of calling. If you go to Jump Zone, and you click on the Forge icon, then that sets you up to log into the Forge. So then time that you spend on Parcel earns you a JZone token, right? It's still on testnet, but we could have a way for these people to accrue, these tips, and then they could go back through the Forge and they could spend it on, um, it could be redeemed for anything really. It could be redeemed for wearables, for emotes, for newly minted NFTs. It's how I'm going to finally bring the Giving Tree reality to fruition of having going to the tree with somebody else and performing a certain um, uh, series of tasks or whatever, but you got to have somebody there with you helping you, the new person, go through it, and then they can pull something out of the Giving Tree's backpack. uh, it's random chance, right? They can't go in and check stuff. They just have to roll the dice and see what they get. Um, but yeah, there's already a way to do it. It's a workaround, but it's more automated than what we used to have. When we did all the airdrops with an Excel spreadsheet and doing it by hand. So I say, yeah, let's do it.
Whatever you got to do to get that Giving Tree to start producing a harvest. We have been waiting. We have been watering it. We have been watching it get pollinated. I can't wait for you. You've been working on that project for so long. So if there's anything you need from anybody here, I volunteer us all as tribute because I want to see you get that project to fruition.
Well, thank you. It is my project for the fall and for the winter, because it's something that I can just duck my head down and do little bits at a time. So look for something this weekend. um, I still have like schoolwork to do, but I will be taking breaks, and yeah, you all will know when I want you to come test it out. So thank you.
And Make, you've had your hand up.
Thanks. Keeping the hand up today because I never know when I'm coming back or going to be rugged by X. So I just want y'all to know X is really the problem, not Decentraland. It'd be interesting to see if there was a way to expand on the metrics. I know that's a very small piece of being a landowner or an event thrower. And I heard a while ago there was like a more expansive look at metrics. But maybe if they did take another step forward with metrics, maybe there was some sort of earning mechanic that would allow you to accrue credits or be able to give people more things, Um, because, instead of just money, I think that might be a really interesting idea because, like AJ, at the end of the day, your jump zone, whether it was for new users or whatever, a lot of us came and participated and had a great time. And how great would it be if that turned into something you could use for your Giving Tree? Like all that effort and energy created by the community of showing up for you was able to be returned and put out there. I think but I would really love to see some more advanced metrics than just like, hey, these are your numbers for the week. And God knows if they're even true. But it would be really interesting to see that dive and grow a little bit.
I second that, and I I know there's somebody who I think in the community is working on that, and I feel like we need third party auditing from the community that isn't foundation or DAO, and yeah, I just I think those numbers need to be accountable across the board because I just want to be honest with the numbers we're bringing in. Um,
100%.
like I told Sinful and Odd Job, like I went through and made a list of the actual like users that access Decentraland, and like the list, like I want to make sure that when we are hearing numbers from the AMAs every 2 months, that those numbers are reflected in the amount of people that continue to log in. And I don't want to gaslight anyone, and I don't want to be gaslit. And I just like facts, not feelings. Let's take look at the real, like raw numbers of the amount of people that log in and the amount of people that stay. And I like I think especially like look at the news from Sandbox this week. Obviously the first news that was advertised might have been a little bit like sensationalism, like everything is different and these people are walking away from the project. And then once Sandbox executives had a chance to address it, it was much more like, hey, no, this is a restructuring, we're not like we're not walking away from it. However, it just really does, like I was sad by that. I know, some may have been like dancing on the graves of like enemies that are floundering, and I don't see Sandbox as an enemy at all. And I got to meet Sebastian this winter, and we had a great talk about what Decentraland's doing, what Sandbox is doing. Like they complimented things we were doing and vice versa. So like, anyway, long story short, I think the Sandbox announcement does make me more than ever want to just be really honest about what we're doing and how we're doing it. Because if we are fooling ourselves, then we're postponing our inevitable, wherever we're going to get to. I don't know if it's demise or success, but like we have to be honest about our numbers. Otherwise, we're just going to be act surprised later if we don't do well. And like we could be really honest about it and be like, yeah, we we are not doing well. We need to increase that. Like, and so I think somebody else other than the interested parties, like the Down Foundation, somebody else auditing that would be a good idea, because then we get the honest truth. And then let's compare data. Like we used to have Atlas Analytics, and that was great because you could see like, well, this person's asking for a $250,000 grant and they haven't logged in for 6 months. um
I
yeah.
also just think that if the metrics were honest as far as and or just even correct, I don't know if they're right, wrong, or indifferent. I don't check them to be like, "Hey, we just had our best party ever." But it's just good to know, like, are people showing up and whatever. It's a very limited amount of information, and it's hard to see where the growth is of what even we're doing as a team. Um, and we have had some, I don't know if they're sensationalized numbers, but really strong numbers. And I would just like to see them get put into good practice also. Like energy given can turn into something that we could do to be more beneficial for other people around us, or again, like I just think there's something really strong that's being left on the sidelines with metrics for the people doing stuff. I mean, besides a barometer of are we doing a good job presenting to the community.
Yeah, because if the metrics show that we have 24,000 new downloads, but I've seen a decrease of, my wearables by 75%, then that tells me we have a conversion problem of converting like downloads to actual buyers. Or maybe we're focusing on the wrong people. Like maybe we need to have like people who are here to spend money instead of, like there's a difference between a user and a builder. A builder is awesome, but they might not spend any money making their wearable, all beautiful. And then I just like, I think it's fair to say, hey, when Foundation gives us numbers like that, like 25,000 new downloads, is that counting me every time I have to uninstall and reinstall the client? Is that a download? Like, because I've downloaded this thing so many times in the last month. Like, so I'm not, I feel like I can't even ask those questions because I don't want to hurt feelings. But those are like the raw questions that we have to ask. Like, if we have these downloads, um, we should be able to find some users, like real people behind those downloads. And then, the use of alts has, I would say, skyrocketed recently for a lot of different reasons. Some people want to troll, some people are gaming the system. Some people can't get in using their main computer like me, and so they create an alt. But yeah, I guess that's just where I have to put my feelings aside and ask the hard questions that, like, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. That, like, yeah, I like this person because they're working on the content team, and I don't want to hurt their feelings. But like, I, this this is a business at the end of the day, and like we have to be able to, like, project. Are we, should I be able to, like, build a business here, or should I just do it for fun? Like, I mean, for me, it's always been more of a artistic, like, outlet. Like, I never came here for the money, but some people are like, I'm just sorry, like, I'm just thinking like Dr. Drip, like how much work he's put into his website, like that. It's probably, in my opinion, the most advanced, like the kind of like the use, like the shining example, job that I would use if I was gonna, like, try to say, this is how you build a brand in the metaverse. Like, this is the website, and like this is the burn mechanism. Like, it's such a good representation. But how can we ask people to do that and like project whether that's an investment of time if we don't have like real numbers coming back of like, will that actually be a good use of their time or just a cool side project? And maybe that's okay.
The other thing, Vanessa, like just for me personally, when it comes to talking to founders like the Bearish or Raf or the other founder, Cap 5 or God, I've talked to a bunch. It's like it would be so great for me to say, hey, we had 25 people on Parcel this week. And, last week, at least, PS, we proved there are more than 34 of us last night. But, um, it'd be so friggin' great to be able to go back to them and say, hey, we average 50 people this week, or we average 100 people over a month, whatever those numbers are, even if they are not 10,000. They're hardcore people, they're people who care and believe, and the people who put in time, usually that we're loyal as fuck, right? So I think it's kind of like when you talk about music, and people are like, you don't need 100,000 fans, you need 1,000 super fans, right? Feel like the Decentraland community are super fans of each other and the platform and believing in one another and what they're about. So I think those numbers are so incredibly helpful, and they'd be so incredibly useful for growth. Ultimately, I'm here learning something, being with people I love, and I would love to see growth financially from this, like in a real manner. But at the same time, like my goal is not to ask the people around me for money. And so building this past that point is essential. Now, I have learned a skill that might not be 3D design. It's not wearable creation, but I do this IRL. I'm trying every day, so it is benefiting me. And Friday is about the most exciting thing I do, because I get so fulfilled in getting better and learning what I'm doing. But now, how do we take those steps where it's not about selling to our 100 super fans? It's about growing past this bubble and believing in a future that's bigger than all of us. And so I think all of these small bits become really big. And I do think there's something incredibly important with metrics that we can use to go meet people outside, you know?
Yeah, well, let's just keep talking about it, and I will check in with our our friend who said they might be creating something like that, and um, just keep the conversation rolling. And I don't know, like I think just being, Oddjob and I are both special education teachers. I'm not working currently, but like the the like tagline that I lived by was data drives decisions, and you can't do anything without having, like knowing where you start, how many, letters of the alphabets does the student know by sight, and then in September, and then you can compare that against the results in June, and you can see, have you been an effective teacher? Not necessarily whether the student has learned, but I think that would, I don't know, I feel like that would be so helpful here. Like, even just knowing as a community, if we have, 100 people logging in September 1st of 2025, in 2 days, if we have 100 people logging in, like, could we collectively double that in 6 months? Could we double that in a year? Could we quadruple that? I mean, I don't want to get crazy, but like, um, Rustan said it really well once, that maybe we're not like Roblox. I mean, we're not like, we're not stealing brain rot and 10 million users. Like, we just can't even do that. But maybe we're 5,000 like consistent, dedicated users who are like believing in the project and constantly coming back and like changing it and evolving it from, we're not a game, we're not a social platform, we're like everything all at once. I think that's more of what the future that I think we'll see is smaller niche community, but like freaking innovating. And yeah, not to go off on a monologue, but what we could do with AI here is like, let's tap that bucket and see what we can find.
I'm just going to use the brief pause here to bid everybody a good day for now. I'll be back in, what is that, 3.5 hours for ABC Tours. But I've been I've been on this space since I got back from my run, and I really need to shower. So I'm going to bid you all adieu. Thank you again, Sinful and Canessa, for the opportunity to speak. Thank you, Make, for all your words of wisdom and your tireless encouragement. I really appreciate having you here as somebody who's you know helping us all to be better versions of ourselves. So thank you.
Appreciate you, Odd Job. We out here doing something special, and that at the end of the day is the truth. Like, I don't really, and it takes people who throw their hearts on their sleeves and they just do stuff. So you're a king, man.
Yeah, thank you, Ajab. My heart goes out to you. You might not be having back to school nightmares, but I am. I had a nightmare that I had two classrooms, one in middle school and one in high school, and I did like juggle both of them. And so I woke up, I'm like, man, I'm not even teaching. I'm not even getting a paycheck to be a teacher, and I'm having the nightmares. I might as well go and like be a teacher. Like, so hang in there. I know your students are so lucky to have you back in the classroom, and you just, you're going to make such a difference this year, as you always do, to those humans. So we miss you, but man, you're so lucky to be doing that.
Mew mew mew. What do you think, Canessa? Are you hungry?
I think so. I think we had a really nice space and great follow up to, your birthday. And yeah, I think it's time to go touch some grass, as my kids tell me, and um, go have a great day.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, right after this, I really don't know any details on this, but I was invited to speak or on a space or kind of like a show that Visceral Glitch is hosting for the Empire Pod. And yeah, I'm gonna see what that's about. If he's not trying to hack me or whatever, I've already basically said if I have to download anything, I'm not doing it. So
Oh man. Oh, I hope not. That's cool.
yeah.
Fingers crossed. That's legit.
They're saying he's saying they use StreamYard. I know like StreamYard is a legit thing, and I know of the method. It's like usually they like share a link with you, and then they'll get you into like the stage or like kind of like the voice chat. Uh, so I'm willing to go that far. I have my automatic downloads
Uh,
off.
I don't know, man. I'm already scared for you. Can't he just come to CBD Discord?
I don't know.
Can't he come to you?
Well, I mean, StreamYard's pretty legit. I've done like Foundation uses StreamYard, for example.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, just check every link. You know what? Could you like
Yeah.
access it on your phone first or something like not tied to your computer and then like okay, good, and then come in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought about that. I'd have to see if it's possible to do it on my phone. But yeah, I have that. I saw that Long Shot wants to talk about some stuff, and I have a birthday dinner tonight. So for all my late night performers, ABC Decentraland and Crypto Minotaur in Austin, I'm sorry, I don't know if I'll be able to make it tonight. I'll probably be out with the family, but I will be online as soon as I can when I get home.
And I'm letting Make back up. He's just trying to game the system. He's like, I want to be like the frequent flyer. Like I have been a
Or
student
farming.
those times.
He's definitely aura farming.
Dude, it's 100% rave mode today for me on X. That's all I have to say. I just want to say once again, happy friggin' birthday, Sinful. Cadessa, thank you. Make sure you get yourself your slideshow and everything else, bud. And like, go out and build something, you MFers. Let's go. It's even more fun than hanging out is trying to get everybody to come.
Thank you, Meg. Thank you. And
And I'm gonna go cut grass. We're moving in like a month and we are not there. And instead I'm building in Decentraland. And what I need to be doing is building out this house. So
Okay, do you
my
need an intervention?
I
Like maybe
do. Who
we
wants to
should just
come cut grass? Not digital grass. I need you all to come cut grass and pack with us.
oh man. Where are you? Colorado? You said there's storms. I like to watch storms. So if I could take a break every time a thunderstorm comes through, I'll help you out.
they have mountain kitties.
I,
Goodbye, mountains. Hello, Dirty City. Let's go.
oh my god.
I'm so
You
excited to
could
go
eat
back
off
to
that floor.
Peter Pan's getting old, but he's still got some swag.
I don't know why you're going to the city. I don't know why you're leaving the mountains. That just seems like backwards.
Well, now the kids are tall enough that they could go get in trouble and have a good time. I miss the
The older
ocean and I like making stuff. And unfortunately, it's not as much fun to make stuff here as it is in New York.
the older I get, the further I want to get from society. And Meg is like, let's get back into it. Let's do it.
Yeah, you're going backwards. I've been watching a reality show with my kids about like families that go live on the frontier for like a year. And so now I'm like, guys, we could just live in a cabin. It could be like a halftime homestead. Like we could spend all our day like living like homesteaders and then go inside and play Roblox and it would just be awesome. And they're kind of like down with it. Like, I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see how your kids adapt because that's a big move.
You know, they're well traveled. and they go to New York a lot. They go to the Bay a lot. You know, they've. My son was born in Manhattan. My daughter was born in the Bay. We have helped them grow in the mountains, and now Dad wants to run around and be a kid again and go make, make stuff. That's why they call me Make. Duh. Anyway, I love y'all. Bye.
Is it weird that I just made that connection?
uh, no, not weird at all. Not weird at all. It's only weird if you think it's weird. Uh, but if you're not thinking it's weird, it's not. Well, crap. I was gonna mention something, but okay, I think it slipped my mind. So, I guess Canessa, any final thoughts?
I want to thank the Kuta MC for just hanging out with us. I know that it's probably been a crazy whirlwind, maybe for you, but man, like, we just, yeah, thank you for spending your time with us and everybody. Really appreciate you all building in your own way. Like, um, I don't know if I'm just high on the hopium, but I just feel like good things are coming our way. I could just be like really delusional, but I don't know. I can't kick this optimism. So maybe it's you guys like contributing to it. So yeah, have a good week. What do we have coming up this week? I don't think anything ginormous. It's the first week of September. We've got Shi-Fi graduation on the 9th. Art Week is this month on like the 25th. And then we got the usual suspects this week. We got on Monday, we got Beyond the NFT on Monday. We got uh MoFi on Monday. Basically everything happens on Monday. And then Toxic Tuesday. And then is there anything Wednesday, Thursday? Or do we go right to the Make Friday? So I guess those are good days to host the party. But yeah, Sinful, you want to talk about the rest of the day, what the lineup is?
Yeah, I mean, ABC Decentraland tour, 6 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Eastern. I can't remember right now. Uh, Crypto Minotaur the at the neighborhood party at Metro Plaza, right after the tours, and then Metaverse After Hours with Austin DeSheni after Crypto Minotaur. So yeah, we do have the lineup tonight. Um, Crap. Man, I think I definitely need to step away and have some food now. I
Yeah.
can,
Oh,
can
book club
find myself
tomorrow.
blanking on some pretty fire ideas here. Uh, and
Oh,
and Kunta, that news that came out, man, that ain't that. They're making it sound bad, but it's not even that bad, bro. Decentraland did it first. Like, where the fuck are our founders? 50% of their workforce. Yeah, no, trust me, you're good. You're good. I don't know why they're making a big deal about that. Really, just what's important is to keep the vision going, to keep the platform going, to keep your community together and excited and thriving. And if you're doing that, then really the rest is noise. Um, love you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this space today, our 168th Twitter space. uh, we'll be back here next week for our 169th. Maybe we can get Billy in here to celebrate the 69th with us. and and yeah, well, let's have a good week, everyone. This week for Beyond the NFT, we have Dre the Noid coming through. We're gonna learn about all the cool stuff our homie has been up to, and yeah, maybe who knows? Maybe he might like the Central Land and might want to stay forever. You never know. All right, everyone, take care. We'll see you back here next week. Bye.